Could you talk about prescriptions? Are they dangerous for
Prescriptions are
society?
how-tos, methods, techniques, 5-step plans. They do not have any effectiveness whatsoever, and it is the only thing that society is founded upon. That's what prescription means.
My question is, in relevance, it's in relevance to what the title of this room is. How do we know when something is the truth?
There's no test you can take. I mean, if I would say the greatest, perhaps the best way is that if you go to a particular stream and you collect water from the stream, and the water purifies you, and you can tell and you can feel it, and then you go to a different stream and that water makes you sort of sick, and then the place where you go, which does something to you on a visceral level, be it radically changes the way in which you see things, not just for change purposes, but it opens up a world to you that inside of you gives you feelings that you've never had before, in the direction of harmony, in the direction of sincerity, in the direction of purity. And that tends to be in the direction of truth. So you have to examine your interiority to see what effect did this have upon me? Because the truth, in all truth, is the most powerful force in the universe. And it tends to have a profound effect on human beings. And I think that's what one must monitor and use as their guide.
The question I had was, first I want to give kind of a prequel to the question. A quote I recently heard was, the best advice is embodied, and it stayed with me because there was something about that quote that resonated as truth. And when I started meditating on the embodiment of truth, I've reached a lot of blocks. So I wanted to ask if you could explain what the embodiment of truth feels like, looks like for you personally. I would deeply appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, there's some things that are just very difficult to describe, and the words that people use and phrases people use, everyone has their own particular meaning of what those things are. And so they make it's very difficult to communicate through the bridge of words, because words have an extreme limitation in their universality across different people. It's difficult for you to bring a word and then me jump on the word and say, well, this is what that means. There is what I call devotion. And if a human being is devoted to the truth, then it is not an intellectual affair. It is something deep and visceral within them that they can't help but to constantly look for the truth in whatever situation they're in, as opposed to trying to find the answer or the correct thing to do or the proper thing or the right thing or whatever the books and the business books say. Those things tend to have no meaning for them. And what they're always looking for is, well, what is the truth? And so that is a visceral devotion. That's a human being whose interiority is directed and is very much aligned towards seeking the truth.